Hello my loves, thanks for returning. I hope this video finds you happy and doing well. As you know by the thumbnail, I'm going to be testing out a few new products that are relatively new. One is new to me that I saw in the drugstore and I really wanted to test it out. So I already have my brows done and I'm going to quickly go over the items that I have, even though I think you kind of saw most of them in the thumbnail. I decided to pick up the Wet n Wild Photo Stick Foundation, and the shade that I have is Almond, okay? I also decided to pick up the new Wet n Wild Color Icon eyeshadow palette, and this is the one I decided to pick up. I thought these shadows were really pretty and I especially like the packaging. I also decided to pick up the cream blush, and I know you're probably thinking, oh my goodness Bridget, another cream blush, but this is it, and it's actually black, and they say that it's supposed to come out to have a rose tone blushy type of shade, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use it. And the only reason that I say I'm probably not going to be able to apply it is because it's very emollient. There's a lot of slip to it, whereas in my previous video I tested the Revolution Jelly highlighter. It was more of a tacky texture, so we'll just see how it goes. I also decided to pick up the Wet n Wild bronzer. I've been seeing this around. I'm not sure if it's going to be deep enough, but I'm going to try. I also decided to pick up one of these eyeshadow palettes by KAJA, and I got this in Ulta, and this is the Beauty Bento Bouncy Shimmer eyeshadow trio, and I thought this was so pretty when I swatched it, so I was like, I think that they might like to see that. Well, anyway, it has little packaging like this, and they all open up like that, and it has a little mirror on both sides, and here are the shades, and they're really sparkly and metallic, and of course I'll swatch those for you, and somehow some way I'm going to incorporate all of these shadows. And for a highlight, I decided to try the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter, and this is it. It comes in this cute little packaging right here. Here's the shade, and again I'll swatch that later on in the video. I also have the Revlon new PhotoReady Candid Anti-Pollution Setting Powder. Anti-pollution, okay, so that kind of piqued my interest, and here it is, and this is in translucent. It's supposed to be good for all skin tones, so we shall put that to the test. I also decided to pick up one of the new FENTY Stunna lip paints, and this is Undefeated, and here's the shade here. I also picked up the Revlon Candid Antioxidant Concealer, and the shade that I have is Deep Foncé, and this is it. And I'm going to try these Lash Couture Triple Push Up Kiss eyelashes. These will be the eyelashes. So let's just go ahead and get into this look. So just in case you all are wondering why my lips are so shiny, I always like to put Vaseline or some type of moisturizer or some type of gloss to soften up my lips, so by the time I get ready to put on my lipstick, you know, my lips will be hydrated and dry and things like that. But today I have on the Too Faced lip injections. Yes, I'm still trying to finish this up, and I'm almost finished with it, and it's gonna be in my empties soon. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this eye look. All right, so as you know, there's no brow bone highlight in either of the shadows that I picked out, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in. All right, so now that I have my brow bone highlight, I'm going to also use one more shade from this Warrior palette, and I'm going to put this in the upper part of my crease. All right, now for the fun part. We're getting into this palette. So I'm going to put this shade in my crease, and there appears not to be any fallout, as you can see, and I appear to be getting a lot on the brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and pat that in. And it looks like it's a lot of payoff, you all. A lot of color payoff. All right, now using the same brush, I'm going to dip into this deep purple and using the same brush, and I'm going to apply this on my outer V. And this one doesn't have any fallout as well. So they do appear to be layering and blending well. And as you can see, it's not a lot of fallout either. I don't really see any fallout. All right, the next shade that I'm gonna use is this metallic-y coral. Well, it's not coral, but it's like a light burgundy or a dark pink. I'm going to apply that. I'm going to use a precise angled shadow brush. And I'm going to apply this right here on this part of the eye. And the reason that I'm applying it so far out is because I want to make room for the other shadows. I really want you all to see how those look. And I'm not wetting my brush, and they appear to be applying pretty well. I'm going to use a color switch and clean off my brush and go in with this shade here. And this one is really pretty. And I'm just going to apply it right next to the shade that I just placed. Now these do have some fallout, and I probably wouldn't get as much if I were to wet my brush, but I'm not going to do that. So now I'm gonna go in with the KAJA eyeshadows, and these are so pretty. Let me go ahead and swatch these babies for you. And they say to apply these with your finger, and I know everybody doesn't like to do that, but that's how it recommends that you use them. But look how metallic-y and foiled these are. So pretty. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply this shade next and this lighter shade, and I'm gonna use that one as an inner eye highlight. So hoping this looks right, and I'm gonna use my finger like they say. And it is very metallic-y. It's like kind of got a lot of, I'm just gonna say glitter, small glitter particles. I'm hoping you can see that. Okay, it's really pretty though. And for the inner eye, I'm going to use this lighter shade. And for my lower lash line, I'm gonna go back in with my Wet n Wild palette and put this on the outer lower lash line, and then next I'm gonna put this more burgundy shade on. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some eyeliner. Next, I'm gonna do my mascara really fast. And what I am gonna say about these eyeshadows is that they are really pretty, and I never thought I would say this, but the sparkles are everywhere on my face. I don't know if you all can see them, but it looks like, not really glitter, but there's little sparkles everywhere, and I feel like that's going to mess up with that's going to affect my foundation. But we're gonna see. So y'all know this is my favorite part, the foundation. I love putting on the foundation. And it's a stick. I think I got a pretty good match. So let's just go in with it. And it just feels like a traditional foundation stick, okay? So I'm gonna put a little up there and come down here and get it on my nose. And to apply this, I am going to use a brush, because I typically like to use brushes with thicker foundations, especially the stick ones, because they always tend to be on the thick side. From what I can see right now, it looks like it's going to be full coverage. So I'm going to use one of my Real Techniques brushes, and this is this is not a Real Technique. This is a Royal Lang Nickel Complexion brush. And this is it. Isn't that cute? This is such a cute little brush. And this looks to be a good match, I think. What do y'all see? Or do y'all think it's too light, or do you think it's too dark? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. It's definitely a better match than my previous video with that IT foundation. When I looked at the video, I almost didn't upload that video because the shade was so off. I literally felt as though I looked green. Well, not green. I just felt as though the shade had a little bit, it was too much olive in it, and it had, to me, it appeared to have a olive tint to it, and I just took that foundation back because that shade was all wrong. But this one I feel like is a really good match. So you all saw my face when I began. I had some dark spots right here. You can still see them, but not so much. And you all know that I have hyperpigmentation around here, and I think I did a pretty good job at covering up everything. And so just to kind of give you an idea of how it feels very comfortable. It doesn't feel, before with the IT foundation, I could feel it on my face. This one I can't. Now I'm just gonna go in with the concealer. This is the Revlon Candid concealer, and I'm gonna go ahead and, oh my goodness, this isn't open. So you get a doe foot, and I'm going to apply the, ooh, and this appears to be thick. So I'm going to apply this under my eye. And I can tell you, I don't like the fact that I have to keep dipping. You don't get too much at a time. And I don't know how I'm liking this, because this is really thick. I don't necessarily like concealers that are too thick. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out. So yeah, this appears to be a little bit too drying for me. It's a little bit too thick. It doesn't move as easily as some of my other concealers. I just prefer concealers with a little bit more slip. This does appear to be a good shade for my complexion though. All right, so now that I have that applied, I'm gonna go in with this powder, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to be brave and put it all over, or if I just want to apply it on my under eye. But this is a really nice top. It has a little plastic cover, which I can really appreciate. But it says that it's for all skin tones are supposed to benefit from it. So let's just go ahead and put that to the test. But first I'm going to set the under eye concealer very lightly. So here we go. We're gonna go in. I have a Real Techniques brush, and I'm just gonna go in. Here I am, and I'm going to use, I'm not gonna go in heavy, but I'm gonna go ahead and set it with this powder and see. But I don't see a white cast, really. I actually think it looks pretty. All right, we're in the home stretch, y'all. Now I'm gonna try this bronzer, and I did swatch it, and it had like a sheen to it or a shimmer, so I don't know how that's gonna work. So I'm gonna use one of my BH Cosmetics brushes, and I'm just gonna go in and see what happens. So not sure if you all can even see that. I can't really tell. I'll really be able to tell once I get ready to edit what's going on. I think you can see a little bit of it. So if you're like my skin tone, you can definitely rock this bronzer. I'm gonna go in a little bit more on the forehead. And it does have a sheen to it. Can you all see that, how it's shiny? So just kind of make note of that. You can really see it on the forehead. All right, so here's this black blush, and it's very emollient. It has a lot of slip, and I just think that would, you see that? I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it so you all know what the deal is. So if you see it in the drugstore and you're wondering what's going on with it, all right, so can you see how it kind of starts off It does kind of start off like black, and then you rub it in, and then it does have a bit of a burgundy tint to it, a little bit on my skin tone, but look at how red it is on my finger. So I would think if you are fair skin tone and you want to use it on your bare face, then yes. I wouldn't recommend using it once you have your makeup done, because I think that it would just absolutely ruin the look. Next, I have my Physicians Formula highlighter, and this one, let me swatch it. First of all, this stuff is so soft. It's so buttery, literally. Look at that. Woo. Okay, that is pretty. That is so pretty. So pretty. All right. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of this on. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. I'm doing the most. All right, what else do I have here to use? All right, so I'm gonna go in with my lips, but before that, I'm gonna line my lips with this Kat Von D lip liner. And the only reason I'm gonna use a lip liner is because I actually swatched this on the back of my hand, and I noticed that it bled. Because it was so, I don't want to say watery, but just because of the texture of it. It's more of a liquidy type of formula. So I'm going to go ahead and just line my lip to avoid any of that. All right, I got these babies lined, and now I'm going to go in with this lip paint, and I like the doe foot, which is really nice, and I love the way this applies. You know what this reminds me of the NARS Pro Matte lipsticks. I love those things. This formula reminds me of that. All right, so I got the lippy on, and I think that it's really pretty. Loving the look. It does take a second to dry down, so you'll notice that it's still rather wet. Next, I'm gonna go ahead with my lashes. I'm going to go ahead and apply these lashes, and I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. I got my eyelashes on, and this is the final look. I'm pretty happy with it. Let me go ahead and quickly go over what I think about each item. As far as the foundation is concerned, I like it. Upon initial application, I thought that it was going to be a little bit more full coverage, but as you can see, a lot of my flaws are still kind of peeping through, and I don't mind my flaws peeping through. It's just that typically when I get foundations, if I'm going to even take the time to apply a foundation, I want it to cover everything. So if you're one that doesn't mind kind of a light to medium coverage, I would say this is really good. I do like the fact that it has a really light feeling. I don't even feel it on my face, so I particularly love that, and I love the price. I think that everything is good about this one. As far as this highlighter is concerned, I love it. I think that it's a really pretty shade for deeper skin tones, and I especially like how soft it is. It is so creamy. Definitely check this out, especially if it goes on sale. I rarely see Physician Formulas products go on sale, but if you have a coupon or something like that, definitely check this one out. As far as this powder is concerned by REVLON, they say it is translucent, and for the most part of it, I think that it is. As you know, I applied this all over my face. I will insert some pictures so you can see what it looks like with a flash and without a flash. Just beware. Do not, if you are of deeper skin tone, don't apply this very lightly. Use a very light hand, and I think that really it played well with this foundation. These two played very well together. I don't get a heavy feel, like a cakey feel on my face, and that could be largely in part to the fact that I didn't apply a lot of powder. So yeah, as far as this lip paint, I'm not a big fan of it, and that is because I found it to be patchy, and I don't like the way it's drying down, or the fact that it doesn't dry down. I don't like that. And initially I compared it to the NARS Power Matte lipsticks. I want to retract that statement. Kind of get the idea that it's going to be like that upon initial application, because the texture is the same, but the way it dries down is totally different. I do love the packaging on it, but the formula, not so much. As far as these KAJA eyeshadows, I think they're so cute. However, I kind of have mixed feelings because I like the sparkly effect of the eyeshadows. I just don't like how the sparkles get everywhere. I mean, and not sure if y'all can see, but there's still a few little sparkles that have fallen down on my face. Now I can't help but wonder if I'd have wet my brush, but according to this company, they say that the best application is with the finger. So if you're looking for something quick and you want something sparkly, and maybe you're not going to have your complexion done or something like that, and you could just wipe away all of the fallout and sparkles, I would think that these would be good. But outside of that, I'm not too sure. I have to play with them some more, but they are very, very, very pretty. These Wet n Wild eyeshadows, for the price, I think they are great. I do like the fact that there wasn't any kick up in the pan, there wasn't any fallout, as you all saw during, upon application. Now the mattes are very dry, but I mean, for $4.99, they're not, I mean, you're only going to get so much, and for what you get for $4.99 is awesome. I even thought the metallic-y shades were really, really pretty. I thought they applied really well. I didn't swatch these for you. Let me just go ahead and swatch these for you so you can see how they swatch. So yeah, as you all saw, those are just some really, really pretty shadows. And I'll be honest, if I come across the other shades in the store, I'm gonna pick them up. Plus, I like the little rosy packaging, the little roses. I think that is so, so cute. You all know I'm the sucker for the packaging. As far as this concealer, I don't necessarily like it because I did find it to be on the thicker side, and I prefer, if I'm going to use a concealer, especially under the eye, for it to be a little bit more emollient, for it to provide a little bit more slip. So because of that, I would say this is not going to be one of my favorites. I do think the coverage is decent, but it's the texture that's not sitting too well with me on this one. And for the bronzer, I didn't think that this bronzer was deep enough for my complexion, and I also didn't like how you get a little bit of a sheen. Do you all see that shine up there along my forehead and right along here? This bronzer has a sheen to it. I guess that's the best. I don't want to say metallic-y because it's not really metallic. I just kind of call it a shine or a sheen. I don't like that. When I wear bronzers, I like for them to be matte, and of course I like for the shades to be deeper. So if you don't mind those type of bronzers, definitely check this one out. I've just never been one to gravitate to those, so this one's okay. And then the last one is this blush by Wet n Wild. This one, it would be good, I think, that if you have a lighter skin complexion and if you use it without foundation, if you just use it on bare skin, because it's just too emollient. It's just too much slip. And again, that is what it looks like before you rub it in, and then after, when you apply it, okay, and you rub it in, it looks like this. So that is pretty much it. Those are all of the products that I tested out. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the look. Let me know if you have any of these products and if you plan to try any of them. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until my next video, smooches.